the Snake Pit. Today I will be interviewing Pink. Hello, Pink!
Hi.
How are you?
We're doing all right. We're doing okay this week. I don't even know what day it is, but this is a better week than the last previous ones have been for our little household. Jameson's 2 days now without a fever, which is really.
I know you had COVID-19. How did you deal with it?
Yeah, so it started with Jameson, actually, and, he's 3. 3-year-olds get sick all the time. But he started with a fever March 14th. We've been quarantined since March 11th. Started with a fever for him, and it would come and go, and then he would have stomach pains and diarrhea and chest pains, and then a headache, and then sore throat, and it just sort of was just all over the place. Every day was some new symptom, and then his fever stayed. It didn't go, and then it started going up and up and up and up, and at one point he was at 103, and I'm calling my doctor, like, what do I do? He's like, there's nothing to do. He's 3. We're not seeing this take 3-year-olds out. So just stay at home. And I'm like, okay, well, there's only so much Tylenol you want to give a kid. So it was terrifying at one point. Then I got sick, maybe March 16th. In hindsight, it all makes sense. But when it's happening, it's such a weird experience that you don't put it together until after the fact, or until days go by. March 16th, I didn't feel good. I was really tired. I kind of had the chills a little bit. I felt nauseous, but I never had a fever. I never had what they tell you to look for.
You are listening to Snake Pit with Ely. Back over to Pink.
Guess it's true, I'm not good at a one-night stand, but I still need love, 'cause I'm just a man. These nights never seem to go to plan. I don't want you to leave, will you hold my hand? Oh, won't you stay with me, 'cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see, but darling, stay with me. Why am I so emotional? No, it's not a good look, ain't some self-control. And deep down I know this never works, but you can lay with me so it doesn't hurt. Oh, won't you stay with me, 'cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see, but darling, stay with me.
Welcome back to Snake Pit. I know you get asthma. How did that affect you with COVID-19?
Inhaler that I use, a rescue inhaler, and I couldn't function without it. And that's when I started to get really scared because of all the stuff, you can't help but watch the news every day. And I'm like, oh my God, like, wow, all the crazy stuff I did, like, this is it, touch my face, like, this is the way it ends. So we were able to get a test, and I took that chance, and I tested myself. We could get one test, so I tested myself. It came back a week later, positive, and I knew it. I already knew it. I knew that that's what it was going to say. And then, at one point when he started throwing up and saying that he had chest pains and that it hurt to breathe, that's the point where you just kind of like, okay, are we going to the hospital? Like, what are we doing right now? Because this is the scariest thing I've ever been through in my whole life. So, we were a couple of days maybe out of trying to like see if we needed to do something more. But at this point, what can you do, right? There's nothing you can do. You ride it out. And we started to get better. And slowly, his temperature stayed the longest. But I started to feel better. I stopped being nauseous. I never had a fever. And it really is just a roller coaster. I had a sore throat. First, I woke up and my sore throat was on the right side of my throat. Then it was on the left side of my throat the next day. Then it was both sides the next day. Then I couldn't breathe. Then I was breathing fine, but I didn't feel there's no rhyme or reason to this. And at one point I was praying like, and I realized how ridiculous I sounded. Like, I thought they told us our kids were going to be okay. We were told that our kids are going to be okay. And I think when people started explaining what this disease is, it was too early to be able to name it completely and tell everybody what to look for. And, I've talked to so many people that can't get tested, friends that are like, yeah, I think we were sick in February. Like, oh, I think we had that. I mean, I don't know. I think testing is really, really important. It's very controversial to people that I was able to get my hands on a test. I would say two things to that. I would say you should be angry that I can get a test and you can't. But being angry at me is not going to help anything. It's not going to solve the issue of the fact that you can't get your hands on a test. You should be angry about that. And we should work together to try and change that. And number two, tell me anybody with a sick 3-year-old that if they could get their hands on a test wouldn't take it. And if they say that, I'm calling bull. So yes, it is. The healthcare system is jacked. Government is in a way failing us by not being prepared. But this is where we're at, and thank God we're getting better. And, the first thing I wanted to do, whether I had it or not, was how can I help? Just like everything you do is of service. I mean, you make the world such a better place. And so that's what the rest of us want to do. And that's a huge point in all this, is that every single person in the world right now gets to be a superhero just by staying home, just by washing their hands, by buying their elderly neighbors groceries if they shouldn't be at the store, calling a loved one and making them laugh, donating masks, saying a prayer for a healthcare worker. Like, every single person is vulnerable and will be impacted by this virus. And shouldn't we figure out a way to get together and make it better for each other instead of fight each other? I don't know. These are all the thoughts I've had. I've had a lot of time to think.
Thank you for tuning to Snake Bit. I am Libang. Thank you, Pink.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Cheers!